and welcome to my live series today. My name is Christy Kanu, and in case you're joining us for the first time today, you're very welcome. Now, here are some of the best ways to start preparing to leave a legacy of wealth behind for your children and grandchildren. Now, the best legacy ever is real estate. Did you hear that? The best and sustainable legacy is real estate. Real estate is the best investment for your kids. Real estate is another very significant way to build wealth for the long term, with the potential for steady cash flows in addition to increasing values over time. Real estate can be a reliable path to wealth and sustainable wealth creation. The idea of building a real estate empire can be really intimidating. But if you continue to buy properties one at a time throughout your lifetime, then you might be surprised on how quickly your real estate portfolio can grow. Consider this as an option for building wealth for your kids. I know a lot of people will be saying, oh, we don't have a lot of money to invest in real estate, but you could start small. You could start by buying that property in wherever you see landed property, buy them. I remember having a conversation with my mom, and she told me that she actually had the opportunity of buying a property in Lekki Phase 1 at the time when she was really in business, but she declined. They were even telling her to buy 300,000 naira, I think 20 or 25 years ago, 300,000 naira per plot, and then buy one and get one free. And she was wondering, she was contemplating, do I buy this? Do I not buy this? She just decided not to buy. I think something just took her attention away from it and she didn't buy. But guess what? That same property that she did not buy in Lekki Phase 1 for 300,000 naira 25 years ago is now worth 500 million naira. Can you beat that? Real estate, I cannot overemphasize how important it is for you to invest in real estate, especially for your kids. It's an avenue for you to create wealth, sustainable wealth at that. It is only real estate that really beats inflation over time. I know you'll be calculating the inflation rate and all. Real estate, even if it's a plot of land, if you buy it in a strategic location, do you know that you can even rent that land out for years, even if you don't have the money to develop that land? And also, if you buy properties, built up properties, you can also generate rental income yearly, and within a space of 5 to 10 years or maximum 12 years, you've gotten to the break-even point. You've gotten a return of your investment, and every other money generated from that is all plus. And you also enjoy rental increase. You also enjoy capital appreciation. So you can understand how important it is for you to put real estate as part of your plan to pass on wealth to your children. The second is stock market. So the stock market is one way to create generational wealth over the long term. It is an excellent option if you aim to build generational wealth because it can continue growing for decades. Now, the other one is family business. And family business is passing on the legacy. Now, family businesses have the potential for great success. More than 30% of family-owned companies transition to the second generation. Imagine being able to hand over the keys of a successful business to your children. That's something. Although not all family businesses make it to the second generation, it is possible. Yours can. Looking at the structures you've put in place, yours can. If your interests and abilities align with your children's, interests, they would likely want to take over the business you have built over the years. For a great chance of a successful transition, you should include your child in the company from a young age. I have this mentor. He has a company, and he makes sure that when the kids are in high school, they always come to the office during the summertime to learn. So that you groom them for the task ahead. They need to know how the business operates and how to continue in this business successfully. Don't expect them to take over if they show no interest. If they don't have any interest in the business, you do not need to force them. So if they are not willing, just leave them. You could consider selling the company to fund generational wealth in another form. So now the fourth is getting the life insurance for yourself, educational insurance for your kids. So a protection for your family is basically to protect your family. Life insurance provides the opportunity to protect your family in the event of your untimely death. I know we don't like talking about that. Nobody wants to talk about it. It's a topic that we are sure living. We don't want to even think about it. But the truth is, death happens, and nobody knows when. I can be talking to you today, but tomorrow we don't know what happens tomorrow. So nobody is guaranteed of life. Nobody knows when your life will be cut short. So it is very imperative that you insured. Life insurance, I know in this part of the world we don't take insurance seriously, but it's very important that we should look at some life insurance policies, educational insurance policies for our kids in case we are no more. You understand? Because without your income, your children might be forced into less than ideal financial circumstances, and nobody wants that. If you make an effort to invest in life insurance now, it could prevent economic tragedy for your children. Plus, they will already have enough to cope with if they lose you. Imagine them losing you and now coming to add them financial hardship to that. That's double wahala now. So now the fifth is invest in your child's education. It is like securing their future. It's very, very, very important. This is very important. In many cases, education can provide a way for your children to support themselves. Imagine training your kids to learn something like be educated. They can get a good job after graduation from the university and help themselves navigate through life. It gives them a soft landing. There's a famous saying now among some people that school is a scam. Don't listen to them. They say, a lot of people, even around the social media, they are saying school is a scam. School is a scam. But you need to invest in your child's education. Education is power. It is essential that you do not eat to such. If you can help your children through school, you are helping to set them up for a brighter financial future than many of their peers. And investing in your child's education is how to create generational wealth that will set them up for financial success. Number 6 is personal finance. You need to raise your kids to be financially savvy. Some families lose their wealth in the second generation, like we said previously, and even third generation. With this and the story told earlier, saving for a legacy of wealth can seem pointless. However, in many cases, the loss of generational wealth can be prevented through financial education. After all, it is easy to lose generational wealth if your kids have no personal finance knowledge. Similarly, if you teach your kids nothing about personal finance, then it is likely that the wealth you leave for them will dwindle throughout their lifetime. So it is very vital to start early, to imbibe in them the knowledge of personal finance, to avoid these mistakes. This knowledge will be the best way to build and also protect generational wealth. It doesn't end at giving them wealth too. How do you protect it? It's by letting them be financial literate. There are many ways to broach the topic of money with your kids. You can buy children's book about money, teach them through games. While I was growing up, I played a lot of Monopoly. I think that's why I'm into real estate now. Well, that's a story for another day. So now you need to teach them through games or show them by allowing them to listen as you talk through financial decisions. You can even help them set up their bank account from a young age to instill the importance of saving for the future. Now, the seventh way to create generational wealth for your kids is multiple revenue streams, multiple streams of income. So when it comes to building generational wealth, creating multiple streams of income can make it easier. The average millionaire has 7 streams of income. Listen to that, average millionaire, just average. Now think of the billionaires, how many streams of income they have. The average millionaire has multiple, up to 7 streams of income. There are a variety of income streams, but one of the best is known as passive income. Active income is active income is when you trade time for money, such as a job or a side gig. But passive income is when you earn from your assets after the initial setup without much time. For instance, you could build a house, rent out that house, and generate rental income for life. Once the initial foundation is laid, you do not need to strive. That's one thing about passive income. Instead, you will continue to be earning from your effort, which is the money you've put in from the inception. Also, when you invest in real estate through Pinku, in our co-ownership investment option, you can invest and use as shortlets. You can actually invest from as low as 50,000 naira. So you do not need to buy a property like Otedola or Dangote or all the big names or the rich names you know. All you need to get started is as low as 50,000. So you don't have an excuse not to get anything for your kids. You can as well get a 50,000 naira investment option from Pinko, and you earn passive income for life. You could use that passive income to take care of the education of your kids every year. You can use it for vacation for your kids every year. It's all about planning. I keep saying, you cannot say you don't have money and not also plan. You don't have the luxury of that. If you do not have money, you need to plan. Even people that have money, they plan. If not, they plan about their finances, how they spend. If not, they will lose it within a twinkle of an eye, because it's easier, far easier to spend money than to make them. So you need to plan about how your so when we talk about planning, I always believe that the best way to spend is by investing and using the return from that passive investment to take care of certain expenses. Like, for instance, if you need to put your kids in Lagoon School, you need to plan ahead. Do and make an investment that would be able to generate that money for you to be able to pay for that school fees. You understand? Even for your rent, if you're paying rent for an accommodation or something, you need to generate an investment that will be able to take care of that expense. So you invest to expend. You don't use your earnings to work on the expenses. So basically, you can invest from as low as 50,000 naira and get income that you can use for daily upkeep, monthly upkeep, rental payment, vacation payment, school fees payment for you. And you find out that life becomes a little bit easier, and you have a lot of money from your earnings to be able to even invest more and buy more properties. I keep telling people it's very important that you start small, then gradually you start building up your real estate investment portfolio, and before you know it, voila, you will start buying and gifting expensive properties and gifts to your kids, like Otedola, like Rockefeller, like the richest persons in the world. In conclusion, building generational wealth does not come easy, but it is worth it. I must tell you, it is very worth it. Take your time to find out what works for you and the saving strategy and investment that would work for you. Not everyone wants to invest in the stock market or build a business. So find what works for you and your financial situation to make it achievable. Now let's go back to the big question. Do you believe in leaving your children a wealthy inheritance? It can be a difficult question, very difficult question for successful entrepreneurs. On one side of the argument, you don't want to create entitled, spoiled, shorting children who don't know how to create value or be successful on their own terms. But on the other side, what's so wrong with utilizing your success as a launch pad for your child to give them some sort of soft landing? Is it bad that they may reach greater heights? Is it bad that they may reach greater heights than if they started from square one? Those are both valid viewpoints to hold. The good news is you don't have to make a choice. You can leave behind wealth to empower your children, and you don't have to fear that they will turn into lazy, spoiled brides. I'm sure you'll be wondering how. Ask me how. I think we should leave it for the next our next live series. I will be telling you how you can leave your wealth, your legacies to your children and not be scared of them squandering the money in 1 second. They are blueprint ways. So now we've come to the end of our section today, and I think the next series would be about ways that you can leave a lasting legacy for your kids. Okay guys, this is where we call it the end of the live series for today. Thank you so much once again. My name remains Christy Kanu, and I am your number one real estate investment life coach, so in Africa. So till we see you next time. Bye bye for now. Thank you.